I always end up doing that. Sorry. Okay. Sound check. We're good. I need to check that because it drips on the thing.
Okay.
I didn't do that.
Shalom, shalom. People logging on. All right. Forgive me, I work a little later tonight. I'm usually late anyway.
Amen.
But I had to work a little later. But hard-working citizens. Shalom, shalom, ma. You know how it is. You know how it is. Okay. All right. CJ in that Memphis public school system. That man need prayer right now. He need prayer and oil right now. In that Memphis system. Have mercy. All right. Shalom, shalom. Miss Bell. Okay. There you go.
Okay.
All right. Well, shalom, peace to everybody. Thank you for joining us for Bible study again. We're going to take a small side step today. Our topic for tonight is going to be fighting a good fight. Okay, fighting a good fight. And for the majority of us, I know we're in the midst of the Chanukah, and I know for the most part, most people observe it and things like that. I know some don't. And what's up, brother? Shalom, man, brother Aaron. Haran. Some do, some don't. Some got different reasons. But we're going to look at some things tonight, and there are a lot of things that we really need to consider when we think about not just who we are, right, but where we are and where are we going. Like what's the plan moving forward? You got some people that they might have. I'm gonna give an example, small example. They might have had a objection to, Colin Kaepernick and Eric Reed and different players that were kneeling, and it's like, okay, well, you're taking a knee. Now what? So for us, a lot of us, hey, your identity. You understand your history here to a certain extent. Now what? Right. So this is one of these times of the year where it's a now what, and we got to understand what we're looking at. So we don't look at things with the right glasses. We think we are observing things with Hebrew lenses, but in reality, we're not. We're still looking and thinking with a Western mindset. And that's going to always keep us, flipped. Okay. So with that being said, let's start with prayer.
You got it.
Would you like to pray, please?
I need to go talk to our children really quickly.
No, you'd like to pray, please.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, I just thank you for this day, Father. I thank you for being sovereign and mighty. I thank you for being just and true. I thank you for this opportunity to just get into your word. I thank you for the preparation for my husband. I thank you for everyone that's on the line that wants to dig, wants to learn more, wants to grow more in Yah and in his truth and in the light of his salvation. So we just thank you for this day. We ask that you would be with us as we continue to stand during this season, during this time, to be bold for you, not to assimilate with the world, but to stand out and to truly be your peculiar people. So we thank you for this day. In the name of Yeshua HaMashiach, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Okay. All right. We're going to start in 2 Timothy 4. So let's turn to 2 Timothy, the fourth chapter. For those that have apocryphas or sephers, we will be in Second Maccabees tonight. We'll kind of be all over in our scriptures. We're talking about fighting a good fight. So we're going to turn to 2 Timothy. 2 Timothy and the fourth chapter. 2 Timothy, fourth chapter. And it reads, I charge thee, therefore, before God and Adonai, Yahshua HaMashiach, who shall judge the quick and the dead at his appearing and his kingdom. Preach the word. Be instant, in season, out of season. Now, there is no off season. Okay. There's no off season. I'm just saying, we're just reading book. Preach the word. Be instant, in season, out of season. Reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering and doctrine. Right? So when we talk about doctrine, we're talking about the word of Yah, right? We're talking about our Torah. So as we usually would say, book of Romans, whatsoever things are written aforetime are written for our learning, okay? And the comfort and the patience of the scriptures, we might have hope, all right? So exhort with all long suffering and doctrine. So we need the word. We need all of the word, okay? All right, verse 3. For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lust shall they heap to themselves teachers. They heap to themselves teachers, having itching ears. Having itching ears. So, we're at a time where we got a lot of different things going on at one time, whether it's, people understanding their heritage or returning back to a Hebrew walking in a more excellent way. But in the midst of that, we have all these different ideologies about the Torah. We have all these different ideologies about being an ancient Hebrew in a modern era. And a lot of these things, all right, is pulling people away. And when it pulls you away, you're being pulled to somebody who suits your satisfaction. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that. Okay. I'm just telling you what Shaul is writing to Timotheus and how he is to handle the people where he is. Okay. So, and they shall turn away their ears from the truth and shall be turned unto fables. But watch thou in all things, endure afflictions, do the work of an evangelist, make full proof of thy ministry. So the work that Yah has given people to do, we gotta hang in there and get the job done, or continually on the clock, right? Because once again, we don't have an off season, right? When it comes to these scriptures, there is no off season. Okay, there is no off season. Shalom, Sister Tammy. Hey. For I am now ready to be offered at the time of my departure is at hand. I have fought a good fight. I have fought a good fight. I have finished my course. I have kept the faith. Right? That's got to be us. Right? I have fought a good fight. I have stuck to the fundamentals of this word. Right? I have been with this word, preaching this word, teaching this word, or, well, I'm not a preacher, I'm not a teacher. Living this word, boys. Living this word, right? In season, right? Out of season. But there's no off season. We do not get off season, right? I understand if you play basketball or football, when the season's over, you're done. You're in off season. You get to go and regroup. Believers, we don't have a chance to regroup, right? Our regrouping is when Yah wakes us up the next morning. The breath of life has been put within us, and we get up, and then we get at it again. Mercies are new, Okay. So this is the theme of today, about fighting a good fight. Okay. And finishing the course. And we're going to look at some things today that will hopefully help us to grasp this season of Hanukkah. Because I've not been on Facebook like that, but I'm sure there's probably going to be some debates and arguments about doing it or not doing it, or yada, 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 and all other stuff. So, but anyway, so that was 2 Timothy, all right, 4:1-7. And we're going to talk about fighting a good fight. Now, let's turn to First Maccabees. Okay, First Maccabees, like I said, have your Apocryphas out or your Sephers or however. We're going to turn to First Maccabees. What do you say? This a medicinal night. Man, he crazy. Teacher, CJ crazy. All right, so let's turn to First Maccabees. Going to be in the second chapter. Second chapter. We're going to read 49-70. Okay, first chapter. We're going to start in verse 49. Okay, we're going to get into verse 70. And
what chapter?
First Maccabees, the second chapter.
Gotcha.
We're going to be in 49-70. So I know when I first started, when we first started doing this, going back 9-10 years ago or so. The first thing that first thought about Hanukkah was, oh man, that's not in the scriptures. That's not in the scriptures, and it's not what Yah said. And we kind of have these perceived notions because it's been commercialized, right? Like any other Western religion. We're going to look at some things today, and some of the stuff we're going to look at it should kind of ring bells. It should kind of help us, like smelling the sauce, make you wake up. But anyway, so we're in First Maccabees, second chapter, verse 49. Now, when the time drew near that Matthias should die, he said to his sons, now hath pride and rebuke gotten strength, and the time of destruction and the wrath of indignation. So we're at a point where the Judas and the boys, their father was the priest at Modin, okay, out in the country, all right, and he was the one that slayed the Israelite man that was about to make a sacrifice on the altar, and he also slayed, I think, one of the Grecian representatives there, and they compared him to having a zeal like Phineas or like Pinchas. Okay, verse 50. Now, so think about how when Jacob was getting ready to die, or how Israel was getting ready to die, and how he talked to his boys. Okay, verse 50. Now, therefore, my sons, be ye zealous for the law, and give your lives for the covenant of your fathers. Are you fighting a good fight? Look, Pac was my dude back in the day. Now, he's like, look, how he would say it is, it's better to live for something and die for nothing, right? So what are we living for? If you know you're an Israelite, or if you know that you have given yourself over to Mashiach, you know that you are a part of this reestablished covenant that is still moving and going forward. What are you living for? Now, therefore, my sons, be zealous for the law and give your lives for the covenant of your fathers. Call to remembrance what acts our fathers did in their time. This is what we do. We try to act like we in their time, when in reality, you weren't made for that time. Because if you were, you won't believe this. Yah would have had you would have been born in that time. We be trying to act like I'm Esther, I'm David, shut your mouth. You weren't ready for that time. No, you have to learn how to be a man and a woman of Yah in your time right now. Amen. Flip mode. They probably wouldn't have been ready for our time. The things that we got to deal with is different from what they got to deal with. Where my phone at? Everybody got a phone.
Yes, sir.
Right? They didn't have stuff like this back then. So our fight will not be their fight. But are we fighting? Do we understand? Are we we want to go back there, but you are not cut from that cloth, right? You got to be cut from the cloth for today. So call to remembrance what acts our fathers did in their time, so you shall receive great honor and everlasting name. So that's how we got to be. We got to call to remembrance what our fathers did. This season, this time right now, is a part of calling to remembrance on what our fathers did. Okay. Verse 52, was not Abraham found faithful in temptation, and it was imputed unto him for righteousness? Look at them. They're bringing up the fathers. Joseph, in the time of distress, kept the commandment and was made Lord of Egypt. Phinehas, our father, in being zealous and fervent, obtained the covenant for an everlasting priesthood. Yahshua, for fulfilling the word, was made a judge in Israel. Caleb, for bearing witness before the congregation, received the heritage of the land. David, for being merciful, possessed the throne of an everlasting kingdom. Elijah, for being zealous and fervent for the law, was taken up into heaven. Ananias, Azarias, Misael, by believing were saved out of the flame. Daniel, for his innocency, was delivered from the mouth of the lions, and thus considered ye throughout all ages. The ages are still rolling, people. They're still rolling. They're still rolling. That none put their trust in him should be overcome. Fear not then the words of a sinful man, for his glory shall be dung and worms. Today he shall be lifted up, and tomorrow he shall not be found, because he is returning to his dust, and his thought has come to nothing. Wherefore, ye, my sons, be valiant and show yourselves men. Show yourselves men. Okay. Right? So we're in a position now where we need what? The men. So when we look at how Yah built, right, like family structure, right? So if we really want to go forward or go forth, then we got to have our homes straight. Amen. That's the problem with the Negro in America. We don't want to fix our homes. We don't want to touch that. Now I want to be super Hebrew. I want to be super this and that. But what about your home? Fix the home. And fix the home don't mean talking crazy to some woman, downgrading and beating her upside her head with the word and making her do all this stuff. Right? So we have to fix the home. The man has to be stable and situated. Right? The women, the sisters, help the men. Pray for them. When they are sleeping, pray for them. Don't beat them with the word. Don't beat them with the word. Trust in your Elohim that he will turn their heart. Yah reigned in plagues in Egypt. He had to turn Pharaoh's heart to make Pharaoh not let the people go. So trust me, Yah can change a man's heart. We have to pray for our homes. Amen. Pray for our homes. Pray for our homes. Wherefore ye, my sons, be valiant, show yourselves men in behalf of the law, for by it you shall obtain glory. And behold, I know that your brother Simon is a man of counsel. Give ear to him always. He shall be a father unto you. As for Judas Maccabeus, he that hath been mighty and strong, even from his youth up, let him be your captain and fight the battle of the people. Take also, so we just got to know our positions. Yes. Ain't nothing wrong with playing your part. He like, look, hey, Simon, that man, hey, he give good counsel. He wise, give ear to him. Judas, that man's a warrior, fighter. Let him lead. Take also unto you all those that observe the law. And we're going to look, do we know who keep Torah? Do you know how to judge them? You know what some of us do? Do you look like me? Do you say a Hebrew like I do? You do say shalom, or well, I say shalom. So you know what? I ain't fooling with you. You say Yeshua. I say Yehoshua. I say Yehoshua. I ain't fooling with you. I ain't part of your team. See how messed up we are? Take also unto you all that observe the law, and avenge ye the wrong of your people. Recompense fully the heathen, and take heed to the commandments of the law. So he blessed them and was gathered unto his fathers. He died in 146th year, and his sons buried him in the sepulchres of his fathers at Modin, and all Israel made a great lamentation for him. So for all of the people that it tells you the year he died, okay? He died, anyway, so we're not going all the way there. Okay. So remember is what was the one main thing that was stated, and remember, if we know in Hebrew, that means to is zakar. Okay, zakar. So we must remember. And it's hard to remember when you do not know who you are. It's hard to remember something that I don't even see the value in it. I don't see the value in it. So it's kind of hard for me to remember. And if I don't remember it, then I'm not putting it in its proper perspective. All right. Let's turn to Psalms 103. Psalms 103, be in 6 through 18. The 103rd Psalm, 6th verse, and it reads, the Yah executeth righteousness and judgment for all those that are oppressed. He made known his ways unto Moses, his acts to the children of Israel. For Yah is merciful and gracious, slow to anger, plenteous in mercy. He will not always chide, neither will he keep his anger forever. He have not dealt with us after our sins, nor rewarded us according to our iniquities. We see that? That when we're not right, it's kind of hard for him to fool with us. He hath not dealt with us after our sins, nor rewarded us according to our iniquities. Right? We're going to look at some stuff here. For as the heaven is high above the earth, so great is his mercy toward them that fear him. As far as the east is from the west, so far as he hath removed our transgressions from us. Like as a father pitieth his children, so the Lord pitieth them that fear him. For he knoweth our frame. He remembereth that we are dust. As for man, his days are as grass, as a flower of the field. So he flourish. For the wind passes over it, and it is gone, and the place thereof shall know it no more. But the mercy of Yah is from everlasting to everlasting upon them that fear him, and his righteousness unto the children's children, to such as keep his covenant, and to those that zakar his commandments to do them. All right. Psalms 20. You got something?
No.
Stop anytime.
No, you're fine.
Psalms 20, 1 through 9. In the scriptures, it reads, Yah, hear thee in the day of trouble. The name of the God of Jacob defend thee. Send help from the sanctuary and strengthen thee out of Zion. Remember all thy offerings and accept thy burnt sacrifice. Grant thee according to thy own heart and fulfill all thy counsel. We will rejoice in the salvation. In the name of our God, we will set up banners. The Lord fulfill all thy petitions. So the writer is saying, hey, look, Yah can hear us from the sanctuary on high, and that he will send us help up there, down here. So we're going to look at some stuff. We're going to have to really do some serious contemplate. The Lord fulfill all thy petitions, verse 6. Now know I that Yah saveth his anointed. He will hear him from his holy heaven with the saving strength of his right hand. Some trust in chariots, some in horses. But we will zakar the name of Yah our Elohim. Okay. Stay in Psalms 137. So we have to remember, right? And if I can't remember now, and there's no pressure,
come on,
ain't no pressure right now. You can sit back and jump on YouTube and talk and say all kind of stuff. Man, I ain't got to do this. I ain't got to do that. That ain't got nothing to do with me. Or that's made up. Or that's fit. You know, and you can do all the stuff you want to. But when the pressure comes, what are you going to remember? What's your fundamentals? What core do you have? Psalms 137, verse 1. By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down. Yea, we wept, and we remembered Zion. We remembered Zion. It says none of us had been to Zion. What must we remember? What further things were written aforetime is written for your
learning. So
you ain't been there, but you heard about it. You ain't been there, but you done hopefully prayed about it. You done talked to Yah about it. You've begged Yahshua to allow you into Zion, to go up to the holy mountain. If not, you ain't praying for the right stuff. You're not asking, you're not seeking him with all thine heart. They talk about Zion. So what we need to be talking about? Zion. They talking about going up to the holy mountain. What we need to be talking about? Going up to the holy mountain. They're saying, hey, send help to us in a day of trouble from on high. We got to have a relationship with him that where we can pray and he hears and he sends. Don't worry about it. Verse 2, we hanged our harps upon the willows in the midst thereof. For there they that carried us away captive required of us a song, and they that wasted us required of us mirth, saying, sing us one of the songs of Zion. If you want to, everybody should be familiar with transatlantic slave trade. They had them singing on the ship. But you can't remember, but what else? What else can you like? How far back are you want to go? We serve an Elohim who is called the Ancient of Days. The Ancient. How shall we sing Yah's song on a strange land? If I forget thee, O Jerusalem, let my right hand forget her cunning. And if I do not zakar thee, let my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth. If I prefer not Jerusalem above my chief joy, then let my tongue stick to my mouth. So you got anything? I know you have.
No.
Okay. All right. So a memorial is a zikron. Okay, zikron. And zikron, it comes from zakar. Zakar is a child root word, and memorial zikron will be built from that. Okay, so there are memorials that we have, and if we turn to Exodus 12, we're all familiar with this, or we should be at least. Exodus 12 and 12. Okay. For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and I will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast, and against all the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment. I am Yah, and the blood shall be to you for a token upon the houses where ye are. And when I see the blood, I will pass over you, and the plague shall not be upon you to destroy you when I smite the land of Egypt. And this day shall be unto you a zikron and a memorial, and ye shall keep it a feast to the Lord throughout your generations. You shall keep it a feast by an ordinance forever. Now we are talking about the Pesach. Okay, we're talking about Passover, and Passover is a zikron. It's a memorial, something that we are to remember. We are commemorating. We are doing something specific, and this action that we're doing is a specific remembrance. It's a memorial, right? So we are doing this in remembrance of him, which is what he said in the Gospels. So a zikron is very specific. So we have a zikron mentioned there. We have a zikron in Exodus 13, the next chapter, verses 6. 7 days thou shalt eat unleavened bread, and the seventh day shall be a feast to the Lord. Unleavened bread shall be eaten 7 days. There shall no leavened bread be seen with thee, neither shall there be leaven seen with all thy quarters. And thou shalt show thy son in that day, saying, This is done because of which Yah did unto me when I came forth out of Egypt. It shall be a sign upon thee, upon thine hand, and for a zikron, a memorial between thine eyes, that the Lord's law may be in thy mouth. For with a strong hand hath the Lord brought thee out of Egypt. So we are to remember, and we are to have a special memorial or a commemoration, remembering a specific thing that Yah did. I hope that makes sense. So when you have a memorial, a zikron, it is something specific to remember something specific that Yah did. And he said, hey, this is a memorial, remember it forever. Okay, so we will find this in Exodus 12 and Exodus 13, zikron, mentioned with Passover and whole, as in the Pesach, and then with the unleavened bread. Okay, now you'll find this also in Leviticus 23 and 24. If you're taking notes, Leviticus 23 and 24, for Yom Teruah, okay, or some might say Rosh Hashanah, the beginning of something, right? There is also a zikron. Now, why is it not a memorial for the other feast? Why is that not used? Zikron coming from the word zakar. Right? Why is that? Why is it not correlated to all the feasts? Because we're supposed to observe them. Y'all's like, hey, y'all come see me. Feast of Weeks, Sukkot, come see me. But that's not used there. This word is not used there. Okay. Now we'll find zikron again in Numbers 10 and 10 for a solemn day. You'll see it for new moons. Okay, I think new moon should be coming up this Shabbat, I think. But for and you blow the silver trumpets. You blow the silver trumpets. Okay, this is a zikron, to remember. So you're supposed to remember something at the head of every month, right? You are to, when you're in danger, in Numbers, that 10th chapter, right? In the Bamidbar, when you are in trouble, blow the trumpets. I will hear you. Enemy comes to the land. Okay. So what is unique about Pesach from all the other feasts that Yah said to keep? Something happened. Drawn out. What else? Something unique happened. Yah did something that everybody knew about. He put them paws on people, didn't he? He put them paws on people. So there was war. The book tells us that Yah is a man of war. And you won't believe what's going on in the Chanukah. War. War going on. So Zikron memorial is used for other events. If we remember, a certain group of people attacked the Israelites once they came out of Mitzrayim. Who was that? Who was the first ones to attack them? We know?
Yeah.
Who?
The Amalekites.
Amalek. And what did Yah say? Make this a memorial, a zikron, that I will utterly destroy them from under the heaven. That is something that you are to remember. It's a statement he made. It is zikron. Okay. After the Korah rebellion, that became a zikron about only the sons of Aaron to offer incense. Only zikron. There was no festival, but it was specifically zikron is used when they cross over the Jordan. Yehoshua leading them to take 12 stones from the Jordan. That is a zikron, is a memorial to remember something. The ephod for the priest, right? The 2 stones has the children of Israel's inscribed. It's a zikron. So we see this phrase used with Pesach. We see this phrase used for specific events, certain things, not all of the feast. but just specific things. But Pesach and unleavened bread was about Yah putting pause on them, putting pause on them. Oh no, brother said Zeke. Maybe I don't know if Zikron is used for that. I'm not for sure. But Yah put pause on them. He put pause on the people. He put pause on them.
And then Zakar, remember, Brother Basil was saying it's to make a present decision based on past facts.
Yeah, I was wanting you to say that.
Oh, okay. All right. You got it.
Go ahead and say it.
To remember, to make a present decision based on past facts.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So now let's turn to let's turn to Exodus 23.
Yeah. Yes. And I see where he's going because he said to zit, so you will remember.
Remember, yeah. So, and I'm not saying it. I'm not saying no. I'm just saying that we're looking at the word Zikron because Pesach is a memorial, and we're understanding that memorial means that you are to do something specific to remember something.
Yes.
Right, and this word is used in there, or the instances where with Passover, for new moons, for when what Amalek did with the stones, the 12 stones for the 12 tribes. Because remember, it was 12 leaders. Yehoshua will pick out 12 leaders of the 12 tribes to pick up 12 stones. That was a Zikron. So it was specific events to remember. The Korah, the rebellion, okay? No more will they, if you are not a son of Aaron, you must not offer incense, okay? Make that a memorial. So in Exodus 23, so it's safe to say that Yah has some good stipulations, right? And what we're reading is pre Maccabean era, right? So that means they would have had understood this. They would have understood this and how they're supposed to carry themselves. Okay. So Exodus 23 and 20, we're going to look at 20 through 29. Exodus 23, 20 through 29. Behold, I send an angel before thee to keep thee in the way and to bring thee into the place which I have prepared. Beware of him and obey his voice, provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions for my name's sake. So Yah is telling the people that I'm going to go before you. Remember, Yah is a man of war. I will go before you. I will fight for you. Think about that. Some sisters on here. Man, open the door for you. Man, that tell you look good, you smell good. A man to do, to provide, I'm going to go before you. Verse 22, but if thou shalt not indeed obey his voice and do all that I speak, then I will be an enemy unto thine enemies and an adversary unto thine adversaries. For my angel shall go before thee and bring thee into the Amorites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Canaanites, the Hivites, the Jebusites, and I will cut them off. So understand that there's always the aspect of us being around others. It's just you maintaining your integrity. Maintain your integrity. You're going to be around others. Okay. You might not be around a physical, literal 100% Canaanite, but you might be around somebody who's got a Canaanite spirit. You might be around somebody who's got a Jebusite spirit. Verse 24. Thou shalt not bow down to their gods, nor serve them, nor do after their works, but thou shalt utterly overthrow them and quite break down their images. You shall serve the Lord your God, and he shall bless thy bread and thy water, and I will take sickness away from the midst of thee. There shall nothing cast their young, nor be in bearing in thy land, and the number of thy days I will fulfill. I will send my fear before thee. Okay, are we hearing this? So these are things that Yah said I will do. I will box for you. I will box for you. I'm a box better than Deontay Wilder. I'm a box better than Tyson Fury. I'm a box better than Mike Tyson. Holyfield, Muhammad Ali. Now I'm gonna call him Cassius Clay because Mama called him Cassius Clay. I'm a box better than any of them. I will send my fear before thee and will destroy all the people to whom thou shalt come, and I will make all thine enemies turn their backs unto thee. I will send hornets before thee, which shall drive out the Hivite, the Canaanite, the Hittite from before thee. I will not drive them out from before thee in 1 year, lest the land become desolate and the beast of the field multiply against thee. Beast right there is Chai. Chai. Why would a beast be called Chai? Chai mean life, don't it? Is he talking about animals of the field, or are he talking about something else? That's for another discussion. Another discussion. We talked about that as a cult, though, didn't we? That's the whole importance of understanding that the land was allotted to different entities. But he said Israel is Jacob's portion, or Jacob is my portion. All right. Speaking of that, Deuteronomy 32. Okay, so we see these stipulations that Yah said he will do. Okay, I will fight for you. I will drive out people, but you got to be about me, though. You got to be about me, and I will do these things. Right? We read a prayer that David's like, look, hear me from up there and send help down here. Deuteronomy 32:7. Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee thy elders, and they will tell thee. Ain't that what Matthias told his boys on his deathbed? He said to remember your fathers. Remember Abraham. Remember Joseph. Remember Caleb. Remember Yehoshua. Remember David. Oh, we like that. You know what we like to do? We like to play dress up. We like to do costumes. We like to want to dress up like David. We don't want to have a heart like David. I want to have a bunch of little boppers like David. That's what I want. I want a bunch of concubines like David. I want to talk smart and be jive like Solomon, but I want all them concubines. That's what I really want. I ain't trying to help nobody. I ain't trying to be no good neighbor. I ain't trying to be no good son. I ain't trying to do none of that stuff. I want to dress up. Nigga, go to Hollywood. Go be an actor or something. Don't worry about it. Where we at? Deuteronomy 32:7. Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee thy elders, and they will tell thee. When the Most High divided the nations, their inheritance, when he separated the sons of, if we remember when we looked at this in the Septuagint, right? It was talking about the sons of Elohim. Okay? So if you don't have a Septuagint, go just Google it up. And it's not going to be sons of Adam. He set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. For the Lord's portion is his people. Jacob is allotted his inheritance. So the land allotted to Jacob that God promised Abraham, that's their portion. That is his portion. Okay, keep reading. He found him in a desert land and in a waste howling wilderness. He led him about and instructed him. He kept an apple of his eye. As the eagle stirreth up her nest, fluttereth over her young, spreadeth abroad her wings, taketh them, beareth them on her wings. So the Lord alone did lead him. And there was no strange God with, there was nobody else with him. That's why the none stand beside me. I go solo, baby. I don't need no backup. I ain't none of these fake rappers and artists. I ain't gonna go there with no entourage. He made him ride on the high places of the earth, that he might eat the increase of the field. Ain't that what he said? He said, I flew you into myself. Come on. Don't you want to be flown him? You don't even want to go. You just want to play a part. So therefore, how am I fighting a good fight? I'm not in the game. So the Lord alone did lead him. There was no strange God with him. He made him ride on high places of the earth. He might eat the increase of the fields, and he made him to suck honey out of the rock, oil of the flinty rock, butter of kine, and milk of sheep, with the fat of the lambs, rams of the breed of Bashan, and goats with the fat of kidneys and wheat. And thou didst drink the pure blood of the grape. But Jeshurun waxed fat, and kicked, thou art waxen fat. Thou art grown thick, thou art covered with fatness. Then he forsook Elohim, which made him, and lightly esteemed the rock of his salvation. That provoked him to jealousy. How? With strange gods, with abominations. They provoked him to anger. They sacrificed unto devils. What devils?
Mm.
Who are they sacrificing to? They sacrificing to devils, not to Elohim, but to Elohim whom they knew not. New Elohim that newly came up. You mean like the demons from the giants and all them that Yah got rid of, and they ain't got nowhere to go. What about my kids? Kill the bastards. Is that not what? So kill the bastards. I ain't got nothing to do with them. So they're sacrificing to new devils, new demons, new entities that just newly came up, whom your fathers fear not. Okay. So that's Deuteronomy 32 and 7 through 17. Really quick, turn to Isaiah 5. We're going to look at Yah. We're just going to make sure that Yah did say that we saw what he would say, what he would do. I got you. Okay. And then if I don't got you, we're going to look at something that he says he's going to do in Isaiah 5. If I'm not with you. Okay. Because we need to understand our parameters in our time for our fight. My fight, your fight, her fight is not going to be like the way they fought. Stop kidding yourself. Stop kidding yourself. Stop kidding yourself. We just watched a flick last Shabbat about the aspects of artificial intelligence and technology, and that the other realm is tapping into the technology. We don't know why I do that. We don't know why. But we're gonna let it run everything. Anyway, Isaiah 5. We're not gonna read all this just because of time, but we're talking about the vineyard, right? And he's singing a song about his beloved vineyard. Oh, Jerusalem, oh men of Judah. Let's skip forward to verse 4. What could have been done more to my vineyard that I have not done in it? Wherefore, when I looked that it should bring forth grapes, it brought forth wild grapes. And now I will tell you what I would do to my vineyard. What you going to do to your vineyard there, sir? I will take away the hedge. I will take away the hedge. I will take away the hedge. So that hornet back in Exodus won't be there. It won't be a driving force in keeping things away. But then he's going to turn your enemies onto you. And he's going to take your hedge away. And I will take away the hedge thereof, and it shall be eaten up, and broke down the wall thereof, it shall be trodden down. Okay. I would say you read all Isaiah 5 on your own time. Now, with that being said, 2 Maccabees. I just want to read this.
Sorry.
Let's turn to 2 Maccabees,
Okay.
3rd chapter. I'll read the whole chapter. I was going to ask you to read.
Okay.
2 Maccabees 3.
Okay. Now, when the holy city was inhabited with all peace, and the laws were kept very well, because of the godliness of Onias, the high priest, and his hatred of wickedness.
Okay, so we hear that. The holy city was in Shalom. Why? Laws are kept well, the goodliness, everything going good. The godliness, everything going good. The high priest hate wickedness. Okay, go ahead.
It came to pass that even the kings themselves did honor the place and magnify the temple with their best gifts.
So, pagan rulers, this is after Alexander the Great. We have the Seleucid Empire. We have the Ptolemies. We have different kings. Okay. And they respected Judea, the country of Judea. So we read that in the Torah, though, right? That is what he said. Remember what he said? I'll be a hornet and I'll keep people away from you. Go ahead.
Insomuch that Seleucus, king of Asia, of his own revenues, bear all the costs belonging to the service of the sacrifices. But one Simon of the tribe of Benjamin, who was made governor of the temple, fell out with the high priest about disorder in the city.
You hear that? So there was one of your own. One of your own. Some of y'all gonna be weak over your own. Some of you gonna be weak in this end. We are in end time. Some of y'all gonna be weak for your own. It's gonna be your own. It's gonna say, "Hey, what's that over there?" And what's that over there? And you turn around, and y'all in your back.
Thank you.
Because it's your own. Go ahead.
Okay. And when he could not overcome Ananias, he gat him to Apollonius, the
Mhm.
son of the Rhices, who then was governor
Mhm.
of
Celesyria.
Seleucia
And
and
Phoenice.
Phoenice,
Hmm.
and told him that the treasury of Jerusalem was full of infinite sums of money, so that the multitude of their riches, which did not pertain to the account of the sacrifices, was innumerable, and that it was possible to bring all into the king's hand.
Okay, so we see what's going on. So we got a sellout, we got a sap here, right? Who is wanting to usurp and wanting to be a high priest. One, you're the tribe of Benjamin. How you can be a high priest? You're a Benjaminite. Number one. And then number two, okay, well, I can't get over that way. Well, I'm gonna go tell these other kings, we got a whole lot of money. We could pay y'all. I mean, man, look. And if you put me in charge, go ahead.
Okay. Now, when Apollonius came to the king and had showed him of the money whereof he was told, the king chose out Helodorus, his treasurer, and sent him with the commandment to bring him the foresaid money.
Mm-hmm.
So forthwith took his journey under a color of visiting the cities of Seleucia and Phoenice, but indeed to fulfill the king's purpose. And when he was come to Jerusalem and had been courteously received of the high priest of the city, he told him what intelligence was given of the money, and declared wherefore he came, and asked if these things were so indeed. Then the high priest told him that there was such money laid up for the relief of widows and fatherless children, and that some of it belonged to Hyrcanus, son of Tobias, a man of great dignity, and not as that wicked Simon had misinformed. The sum wherefore in all was 400 talents of silver and 200 of gold.
Okay, stop right there. Now we seeing, so if we want to know about the money, he was like, yeah, the money, that's for the fatherless, that's for the widows, that's for to help the people.
Mm.
You see where I'm going? You see why I'm saying that we're not like them?
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? Like we way back in the game. We way off. We can't even do the simple things. Go ahead. 12.
Yes. And that it was altogether impossible that such wrong should be done unto them that had committed it to the holiness of the place and to the majesty of the inviolable sanctity of the temple, honored over all the world. But
Heliodorus.
Thank you, because of the king's commandment given him, said that in any wise it must be brought to the king's treasury. So at that day which he appointed, he entered in to order this matter, wherefore there was no small agony throughout the whole city.
You hear that? So once again, we're dealing with the people. We are dealing with Israelites that are exactly what we read in Exodus 23. If you are like this, I'll be like a hornet. Okay. We right. So now somebody said, look, man, you got that cheese. I need some of that cheese. I need some of that cheese. Okay, go ahead. Verse 15.
Okay. But the priests, prostrating themselves before the altar in their priest vestments, called unto heaven.
Called unto who?
Heaven.
Called unto who?
Heaven.
Can we read that in Psalms? Didn't you read that in Psalms? Go ahead.
Upon him that made a law concerning things given to be kept, that they should safely be preserved for such as had committed them to be kept. Then whoso had looked the high priest in the face, it would have wounded his heart, for his countenance and the changing of his color declared the inward agony of his mind. For the man was so compassed with fear and horror of the body that it was manifest to them that looked upon him what sorrow he had now in his heart. Others ran flocking out of their houses to the general supplication, because the place was like to come into contempt. And the women, girt with sackcloth under their breasts, abounded in the streets. And the virgins that were kept in ran, some to the gates and some to the walls, and others looked out of the windows. And all, holding their hands toward heaven,
Toward where?
Heaven.
Toward heaven?
Yes.
Mm.
Made supplication.
Mm.
Then it would have pitied a man to see the falling down of the multitude of all sorts, and the fear of the high priest being in such an agony. They then called upon the Almighty Yah.
They called on who?
Almighty Yah.
All of them?
They then called upon the Almighty Yah to keep the things committed of trust safe and sure for those who have committed them. Nevertheless, Heliodorus executed that which was decreed. Now, as he was there, present himself with his guard about the treasury, the Lord of spirits and the Prince of all power caused a great apparition, so that all that presumed to come in with him were astonished at the power of Yah.
Astonished at who?
The power of Yah.
Mm.
And fainted.
And they did what?
Fainted. And were sore afraid.
They were scared.
Yes, sir.
What they see?
And there appeared unto them a horse, and with a terrible rider upon him.
Oh, have mercy.
Oh, my goodness. And adorned with a very fair covering, and he ran fiercely and smote at Heliodorus.
He did what?
Smote at Heliodorus.
He fired on him. That's what we say. He got fired on. So somebody appeared in heavenly guard and fired on him. Knocked the soul out of his body. But I'm so confused. Exodus in the Torah said, what? If you are like this for me, I will be like this for you. David said in the psalm, he said, we call unto the sanctuary up on high. Come down and help us. Whole city, town, in distress over the provisions that we have for our poor, for our widows. Like, leave that money alone, man. We pay, we leave us be. We're honoring our God. We ain't bother nobody. And everybody made supplication to heaven. You won't believe this. It was heard. Why ain't you know this? Why ain't you been talking about this? Go ahead.
Okay.
And smote.
Yeah, and smote Heliodorus with his 4 feet, and it seemed that he that sat upon the horse had complete